The world's most dreaded man, seeing himself lost in the world's biggest battle, hides in a bunker with his wife and commits suicide by poisoning his wife in the same bunker and shooting himself. Our question is that a man who wanted to go to the whole world for his determination that he could not live without 5, can such a man really give up and commit suicide? Does he not still live among us by throwing dust in our eyes? The one whose survival is questioned cannot be an ordinary human being. It has not only changed the thought but also changed the whole world. People's breathing stops as soon as they hear the name. Today let's talk about a dictator whose existence became immortal but death became a question. This is the mystery of legend Adolf. About Hitler. World War II was no minor battle. It was a period where the whole world came down to wipe out each other. But whenever World War II is remembered, a man's name is definitely taken behind it. Questions are also raised about Adolf Hitler and Hitler's death. But these questions didn't arise overnight. There was also a history behind it. World War II was about to end. It was attacking. Western alliance was moving towards Germany. Hitler had realized that now this war had come out of his hands. He had only 2 options. Either he surrenders or commits suicide. Now that Hitler surrenders, he goes to a bunker he built with his wife Eva Braun. There he committed suicide by giving cyanide to his wife and shooting himself. Hitler's remaining Nazi army put the dead body in a pit and poured petrol and burned Hitler and Eva's body. For the first time, the death of Hitler and Eva is announced on German radio, and from here the series of questions begins. No one had ever seen Hitler commit suicide, and questions were also being raised on Hitler's death body. In the era of World War II, it was becoming very common to have a double body for safety purpose. Filmmaker, author and journalist Gard Williams says in his research that Hitler did not commit suicide. They had to get away from the eyes of the world, and there was only one way to do it. Hitler will have to die in the eyes of the world. So Hitler's private secretary Martin Bormann gave the idea that after Hitler and Eva came to the double-body bunker, Hitler and Eva would be sent away and the double body would be killed, and it would be announced that Hitler and Eva had committed suicide. 2nd of 1945, 102 days after Hitler's death. They go to that private bunker. There they also find the corpses of Hitler and Eva. At first they think Hitler is really dead. But after a closer look, he announces that the death bodies were double of Eva and Hitler. In 1947, a historian driver submits an investigation report to RAW, in which he states that the death bodies were not double but of real Hitler and Service. But a history. Why was the investigation report being made? This work should be done by a CBI department, or a well-trained officer. The driver's offer was not even allowed to be seen by the service union to see proper evidence, nor did they get any cooperation. So tell me how to trust this report? After 23 years, it announces that the bodies found from the bunker belonged to Hitler and Eva. Why did it take 23 years to trust them? Because they conducted the autopsy of the dead bodies without informing the FBI. It was found that the dental health of the dead body was perfectly matched with Hitler's, and the bullet hit the skull was also very clear. But our journalist Garage Williams says that in 1945, Mess did not recover any body because the one who burned Hitler and Eva's body, which had so much controversy about the body, was to be solved once for all time. American pathologists investigate this body back in 2009. The report said that Jesus was talking about yesterday. It was the skull of a 140-year-old woman, But in the late 19th century, newspapers started to publish that Hitler was alive and many people had seen him in Santiago and Spain. Now it was never known whether it was a rumor or a truth. There was also a rumor that Hitler had so much advanced technology that he built a bunker on the moon. And he went and lived there. Now there was a situation of what to trust and what not to believe. Hitler was such a person that he could not say anything when he would do anything. Meanwhile, Douglas Dietrich, a historian, says that Hitler has been seen in Antarctica. He is living there by building a bunker, and whose existence he had not yet allowed to disappear. Attention to this becomes more noticeable when another historian. After Cold War II, he discovers many tunnels in Austria and he says that around 60,000 people can live comfortably in the tunnels. Hitler's talk of living in Antarctica also gets more attention because during this time, the person who planned a mission in the South Pole, which he covered up, seeing, is doing scientific research by going to the South Pole. The head of this mission was the chief of German of Human Göring and Haus. Force history Douglas Dietrich also says that most of the Antarctica is unexplored, so Hitler wanted to establish the Nazi colony back there. Now pay attention to the fact that Germany was completely wiped out after World War II. Then how was it standing back on its feet in such a short time? So it is also believed that Hitler's committed secretary Martin Bormann looted all the money and savings. He had hidden somewhere with Hitler, which he would use to build Germany back. It would not be wrong to say that Hitler always did what brought him closer to fulfilling his dreams, not the victory of which was his dream. Don't you know that a colony is preparing itself in any corner of the world so that after years of hard work, it can rule the whole world again? Don't know why Hitler's death and his character, but it doesn't match. How could it be that Hitler did not commit suicide and had executed his victory plan somewhere else so that even after his death, his unfinished small mission would continue? Hitler's death has always been a mystery. What do you think of Hitler's death?